we've been talking about all this off season and training camps and OTAs, who's going to be here, who's not going to be here. We did our mock 53. And just because I like the video, I'm going to put it out here.
That's awesome.
Like the video. So I want to do it. We did ours. But ladies and gentlemen, finally going into week 1, we have an official Washington Commanders depth chart. I'm going to bring it up on the screen and we're going to go ahead and go into it. Will, talk to me, man. I mean, this pretty much is as we expected, minus a few things here and there. What do you think?
It is, yeah, very much so. That kind of as we expected. First one that stood out to me is I didn't know that Sadiq Charles was back at right tackle. I thought he was working inside the whole time. So apparently maybe he can play both, and be that little bit of a swing player. But saw him backing up Sam Cosmi. The one that surprised me most was at offensive line, right guard, Trey Turner, starting over Wes Schweitzer. Not because that wasn't how it started in late June, early July, or late July. It was the fact that we haven't seen Trey Turner the entire offseason.
At all.
Right. And he's starting on Sunday? Like, what? Huh? So, they must know something we don't there, but that kind of surprised me a little bit. That was like the big one that jumped out at me because I was curious, was he going to be injured and it's going to be, Schweitzer in there? What did you see?
Yeah, honestly, I mean, like we said in the beginning, it for the most part is what we expected. Yeah, Sadiq Charles did kind of strike me as strange because we haven't talked about him as a lot, but Chris Paul, with him being that draft pick and then managing to stay on, now we know we got the guy from Jacksonville in this revenge game, if you will, just making stuff up. And Norwell playing against them, but Chris Paul being number 2 it's optimistic that first he makes the cut, and now he's potentially in there. Norwell had a little minor injury over the offseason, so let's see if he can jump in there and let's see what he can do. One thing that we do know is through OTAs and through training camp and the preseason, we have had to kind of mix and match with this O-line. So I like that a lot of our guys, even in the second level, have had some time to kind of get the feel of a faster paced NFL football.
Yep.
So let's move down to the defense and the special teams. Everything here, for the most part, is straight. Smith Williams is over Shaka Tony on this list. Are you in agreement with that? I know we had talked about that. Shaka Tony being one of the faster DNs that we have, but Smith Williams definitely has been playing.
Yeah, I think Shaka needs to be used. He's smaller. He's a little bit more of a speed guy, so where he almost seems like, here we go, name from the past. He's the type of like an ND Kalu that you bring in on third down to just he's just blitzing. That's what he's doing. That type of role from which may do him well. And Smith Williams is on his, I think, 3rd year with us. So he's got a little bit more experience there. Yeah. Okay, here you got John Bostic listed as the backup outside linebacker behind Jamin Davis, not middle linebacker.
Yeah.
Because we only have 2. We have an outside and a middle linebacker. This is
right.
Outside linebacker listed.
No other way. But I like that. So with Cole Turner in here now, we've talked about this all off season that Jamin Davis, we just kind of want him to have the ability to not have to think as much, read and react. You know what I mean? Be comfortable. And he's been getting towards that this year. And I'm eager to see what he does coming into this season. But I do like the fact that John Bostic is there as a somewhat safety net. Yeah. Bostic knows how, he knows how the defense runs. And, having him, he's familiar with what we got going on. So I like that. But Will, talk to me about the secondary, man. What is going on in the secondary, or anything that's kind of confusing, especially with what we'll talk about later, Cameron Curl and his injury?
Yeah. I mean, obviously the corners are in order as we thought. We've got two guys who weren't with us all off season listed as their backups in Wild Goose and Castro Field. So that's a little concerning. They've had a week of practice, and it's not like they're a veteran, So those one guy's a 1-year player, the other guy's a rookie. So the fact that there's a chance they may see the field on Sunday is a little scary. And then I think the one that you're talking about a little bit there is a free safety. We've got the rookie Percy Butler in front of the veteran Jeremy Reeves. Now, Reeves, I say veteran. He's been in the league, but he's mostly been a practice squad player who gets brought up when injuries come. But he's played, and we saw flashes in the preseason. So he's our fan favorite. I think I feel safe saying. So I'm a little surprised there, but I do know they like Butler on special teams. Mm-hmm. He's fast. They like his speed out there, and so I think they're anticipating. I think he's going to be a part of the rotation on Sunday, and so that's why he's ahead of him. And where Jeremy Reeves will probably be an inactive.
Right. And we know what we're getting with Jeremy Reeves. You know what I mean? And I think that the athleticism of Butler, like you were saying, is I think that's the X factor in this. So moving down special teams, as we know, our guy Tress Way, Joey Sly, and Cameron Cheeseman. Now down to punt returner and kick returner, Dax Milne has both the spots, but Jahan Dotson is back up at punt returner, and Antonio Gibson is back up at kick returner, which means if we have two kick returners back there, Gibson will be out there. Is this to be looked at as a demotion, or is this the more things you can do, the better for the team?
Yeah, I think I don't look at it as a demotion. I think if Brian Robinson was healthy, Antonio Gibson would have been our lead kick returner.
Yeah,
but I think he's listed second because the idea is Milne is going to be the one either out there or primarily being the one fielding the kicks. Right. Because Gibson's going to have a larger role on the offense running the ball than they originally had anticipated. So I'm not necessarily seeing this as a demotion yet. Yeah. You know what I did see, actually, if you go back up to the offense, look who's backing up Terry McLaurin.
I noticed that.
You know what that means to me? He ain't seen the field.
No.
When is Terry not playing?
Right.
When does he rest?
Look, Biami, I said my piece to you. I have wiped my hands of it. Okay? I am wishing the best for you, but the writing's on the wall. You've seen what they say, and we never hope to have Terry get hurt or to be out. And the only time we want Terry out is when the game is already well in hand. So with that being said, sorry, buddy. We'll see what happens, man. We'll see what happens coming into the season. But Jahan Dotson, I love that he's up here, and we know we've been expecting it. But has he been hidden all offseason? Has he been kind of pressed down where you're not really getting looks or not really getting that attention because we know everybody's been talking about him? But are we playing a certain little strategic game there?
I think so. I tried to say that all preseason, like, hey, don't worry that he's not flashing right now. Like that, these games don't matter, and I don't think they want to show it. It goes back to hearing Jay Gruden talk when they figured out what they had in Terry McLaurin. He didn't play him at all in the preseason, so he surprised Philly by burning them, and they were like, "Who is this guy? What is this player?" Because he said, we knew what we had. We weren't going to let anyone see anything. Yep. So I'm not worried one bit about what he's done this preseason. I think it matters more what you see during the 11-on-11s at practice and hear from the reporters saying how he's catching everything, he's making plays, etc. And even the DBs are talking his praise.
Right. He's as advertised. And that can only be great for us with McLaurin there and a healthy Curtis Samuel, which I'm excited to see. There hasn't been any talk about that. Shout out to Andrew Faubert, Northport Dynasty. I thought you loved Diami. You know how I feel about that guy.
He loves him still.
Hurts me, man.
He's very frustrated.
I can't. I'm not doing it today. All right.
No,
Yo,
you got your rant in last week.
right. I was like, you getting all this mad over a preseason game? I said you wouldn't understand.
No.
Been dealing with this all off season. Oh man, yes, buddy. So that was the official Washington Commanders depth chart going into week 1 against the Jacksonville Jaguars. And I mean, hey, with what we got, with the injuries coming through the offseason, I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm good. All things considering, with our star running back having been shot and all that situation,
Right?
with all the injuries along the offensive line and everything, all things considering, I think it's good. And we're ready to go into week. We'll talk about that.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that in just a minute.
Thanks for watching. If you like that clip, be sure to check out the other great content from the Let's Talk Football community. And as always, please like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you'll be notified when more great content like this becomes available.